What's going on YouTube? It's JB Tech Fanatic and I'm back again with another video. I want to start this video by thanking each and every one of you for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you will consider hitting that subscribe button and helping me grow my channel and live my dream. Now today guys, as you can see, we have a few items in front of us. However, this video is really about a new range extender that Netgear has brought to the market. Now when I say range extender, I'm talking of course about taking your wireless signal and getting it to further distances in your house. Now up until not long ago, the options that we had to extend the range, in my opinion, were awful. It didn't matter whether you spent $300 or $50, they were terrible. And the main reason for that is because no matter what, they would take the signal from your main router, they would then cut it at least in half, and then reproject it into your home or your office or wherever it might be. During that time, not only did you lose speed, but if you got to the area that you needed the range extender, you would have to, log into a different account, put in another password. They were just a headache, and they, in my opinion, are just garbage. So, we started to see mesh systems coming out to the market. Now, I, being the kind of person I am, had to go out and get a lot of them and try them out and see what I thought. And my honest opinion, and this was in 2017, I'm sure they're going to continue to get better, was though I always had full bars, I often had no internet connection. And that kind of was the main issue across the board, whether I went with Netgear or Google or Samsung. I was just very unhappy with the experience. So I have been using this router right here, the Nighthawk X6. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Netgear or not, but this is the 3200. So this year, they have come out with the 4000 model. Now, I'm going to be reviewing a lot of different modems and routers this year. So I actually wanted to test this, which is the all-new, well, I won't say that new, but it's only a couple months old. It's not easy to get. It is the X6 series, but it is a tri-band Wi-Fi extender. Now, this is labeled as a mesh extender. Depending on which advertisement, you see mesh in there and sometimes you don't. But so far, again, I have not tried that. We're going to unbox that together and then we're going to go through setup options. But it has its own direct connection with the mother router. Now we are going to be able to take our 5 gigahertz signal and stay on the same network and then extend the range. It also offers tri-band. It has the latest and greatest, so it has all the bells and whistles, but you're not supposed to lose any of your speed. Now here's the thing, guys. These routers, gosh, for the last few years, when you go to the store, you see gig speed and, 1700 megabytes per second speed. And up until recently, at least I could never test that out. So here we go and we buy these products and they say they do something and that encourages us to buy them. But, maybe at best we're offered 100 meg or 50 meg and we're buying 1,000 and it has no chance of ever being tested in our homes at the speed they're advertising. So, strange enough, when I was going to test this specific one, I was going to do it with the router that I've been using for, about the last year and a half. And I noticed that Netgear dropped some SKUs and they added some. Again, the 4000 model looks identical to this, but the specs are a little better. However, true story, just about a week ago, my cat decided to pull my old one of these off the wall and I basically broke the antennas off. So I went to the store to buy another one. They only had this one again. I went to Target. And so they, you know, they don't go to the top line like the X10. But anyway, I tried to look for any differences. Now, the only difference that I could find on the box is that on the old label, at the bottom of the SKU, there was an R sitting in kind of the open area there. And on this box, it wasn't there. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I hooked this up, and we'll go through hookup again. Night and day difference in performance. So on the old one, I now have Gigablast, so I can actually test the 1 GB speeds. So when I was direct connecting my laptop to the one that I bought a year and a half ago, I was jumping between 650, maybe 700. Immediately, I put the new one on, I hooked it up, I did all of my settings the same, full gig speed or very close in the high 900s. In addition to that, my speed throughout my house is almost double on a consistent basis. Now, the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because in our houses today, you got to remember we have so many wireless devices, and these wireless devices are causing more and more interference. So every time you add a Wi-Fi plug or a Wi-Fi camera, you have another thing not only taking away from your speed and bandwidth, but you're also causing more interference, which is why I'm so excited about this. So my idea about this particular product is this. There's two versions. There's a wall plug one, and then there's the desktop version. So think about your house right now. At any given time, I'll just use myself as an example. I got my smart TV, PlayStation 4 Pro, Xbox X, and then, you know, either Google Chromecast or, you know, whatever I'm testing. But at any given time, I have 4 or more devices just in my TV section that use Wi-Fi. So I can plug 4 Ethernet cables into this unit, essentially turning 4 signals into 1, including the fact that this is giving me tri-band connection. It's giving you all the latest and greatest specs. Let's go through them real quick. I'll throw them up on the screen for you too. But it has next-gen Wi-Fi, tri-band 2.4 and 2.5 gigahertz, WPS, the Netgear installation, which is really simple, guys. We'll look at that together. They have an app for Android or, you know, of course, through your computer. 4 gigabit Ethernet ports. It still comes with the access point mode, which is if you do have a house that you've hardwired, you know, a 100-foot Ethernet cable, you can still run this as its own access point. Smart Connect, it does have a quad-core processor, and that quad-core processor is going to help quite a bit. I'll explain that in a minute. But basically, guys, it is loaded with all the latest and greatest. Speed-wise, on the 2.4 gigahertz, you're getting a max of 400. And again, guys, remember, 2.4 is basically for the older items. It's never going to be as fast because that is the most congested network. I mean, everything runs on them. Your remote control to your TV, RC cars, microwaves. I mean, everything just completely interrupts that signal. So then you got 1.5 gigahertz band that will run at 866. And then the second one is at 1733. And then, like I said, you got AN and AC 5 gigahertz. And then the new 802.11k all the way down to the 4 Ethernet ports. And it also has a USB port. And the USB port can be used if you have a, you know, external hard drive and you want to watch movies or share photos or build your own SkyDrive in your house. Now, the cool thing about this is it could be used with any brand. It doesn't have to be Netgear. Now, I recommend Netgear, guys. Netgear has been very, very good in my house. Everyone's going to have their own opinion, but we're going to run this and set this up with the Netgear. They do share the same technologies. I mean, if you notice, this is the X6 line, and this is still the X6 line also. So why don't we go ahead and we'll start to unbox this. I'll get this cut open in this plastic, then we'll come back in, we'll talk about it a little more, and then we'll show you how to set it up. And I'm also, my goal today, guys, is to help you optimize your Wi-Fi network with the range extender. One more thing I'm going to say about extending range. This is actually really, really good at range. I mean, I can go all the way to my mailbox and I'm still getting a good signal. I have no issues with range whatsoever. I'm in a 3,000 plus square foot house, 2 stories, and every room gets great signal. The main reason, other than reviewing this for you guys, that I'm excited about something like this is essentially trying to cut down some of the interference in my house. I have so many Wi-Fi items. I mean, it was at 24, and now at any given time, I'm in the 30s running on Wi-Fi. So I'm trying to cut that down, but I also want to know if we finally have a product that you can take the mesh ability but still have the great base unit that gives you extreme power, distance, and speed, instead of these, these little chintzy discs that are just meant to look nice but not for the hardcore power user. Because when it comes to internet, guys, in my opinion, who cares what it looks like? I want it to perform. That's the #1 option. And it seems as if the companies nowadays are just going for looks. But guys, we're talking Wi-Fi. It's your network. You want performance. Forget about what it looks like. To me, this is pretty cool. But we'll go ahead, we'll get this unboxed, and we'll talk more. All right, guys, so we're back in. I got that plastic off. Let's check this out. Now, price-wise, first thing. This here used to be, God, I think when I first bought it, it was like $360, maybe even a little more. Now it's dropped down to $279. Now, bear in mind, I don't think that's inexpensive. And I used to be the kind of person that thought, gosh, I just don't want to spend that kind of money on something for Wi-Fi. The day and age that we're in right now, you kind of have to. And the reason why I'm kind of doing it with that one is because I think that's where you want to start if you're going to go tri-band. If you want to go dual band, there's lots of other options out there, but you just want to make sure that you get good distance and speed. But again, this one goes with any brand. Now, for one more time, so we don't forget to talk about it, this one's $199. That's not inexpensive. You do save a little bit by going with the wall plug version. The wall plug version, it just basically, it's real easy setup, plugs in the wall. Looks just actually like their old one. I'll throw it up on the screen so you can see what it looks like. It's white in color. So here we go, guys. Pretty good presentation so far. Now, this unit is not going to be tiny. So, it's definitely going to have to sit up on a desk, but think about it. You could hide it directly behind your TV. Let's see what else you get here. We already got a couple manuals. And a power brick. So you get a power brick, and I actually don't even see an Ethernet cable in here. It's pretty shocking. But, Ethernet cables are pretty inexpensive. Yeah, no Ethernet cable. Interesting. All right, so you get a power cord, and you get some manuals. Let's check out the device itself. Get this plastic off. This is always fun, right? The unboxing part's always the best part. All right, let's get that out of here. All right, so we flip it around to the back. And I'm not sure if you could see this quite in the camera, but it basically goes where you plug it in, the power switch, USB, 4 Ethernet, and then the WPS button. And just so you guys know, if you don't know what the WPS button is, it's an easy way to connect things. They have a lot of different methods. But, you basically press that button and then you hit WPS on your TV or PlayStation 4 or Xbox or whatever it is, and it will automatically connect it as long as you do it in a certain amount of time where you don't have to do passwords. Now, passwords, that's another thing. So when you set your passwords up on your home unit, again, guys, we're going to be using, right? It's going to be the same password. Now, it claims in their advertisements that when you walk around room to room, no matter what you're connected to, you're never going to drop signal. That's where the processing power comes in play. Now, I said I would tell you a little bit, why is that important? And basically, think of it this way. Think of 3 highways. You got a 2.4, and then you got a 5, and you got another 5. Devices, depending on their quality, their age, what it is, they have different quality Wi-Fi. So, if you had, example, 1 band, and you took, something from 5 years ago that barely had, the best Wi-Fi back then, and then you connected it with like, I don't know, your Note 8 phone, okay? Your Wi-Fi would actually have to slow itself down to the faster device in order to keep them both connected. So what's happening now is that you get 3 lanes. You got the 2.4, 5, and 5. So your router is going to, as you connect them, again, same password, decide for you. So if you have devices that are capable of 300 megabyte speeds, and let's say you have 3 of those, and then let's just say you have some that are capable of gig speed. You have 3 more that are capable of gig. It's automatically going to put the 3 that's capable of gig on the faster 5 gigahertz and the 3 that's capable of 300 on the other 5 gigahertz that is capable of a little bit slower speeds. That's why you get the difference in speeds. Like you get the 1700, I believe, 1733 one, and then you get the other is 866 because 866 for those items is more than enough. Now, the processor is what's deciding that. So, of course, the faster and more fluid that is, that keeps you from, when you jump, of course, you don't know this, but let's just say your phone's connected to this, and now you're further away, so now it's connected to this. In the past, it would kind of get confused or it'd take a while. It would either drop you and you'd have no connection. You would have signal, but it would lose, hub connection to the main internet that's coming into your house. So that is supposed to alleviate that problem. Again, we'll find out if that happens. Now, setup, guys. This will come with an Ethernet port. It's really simple. And I put a couple of things out here, and I like to do this because I just like you to know exactly what you want. If you want gig speeds, and it is the new coax gig, which is what Cox offers, you have to have a DOCSIS 3.1 modem, okay? 32 channels, right? You get 32 channels downstream. Now, this is capable of 1.4 gigs, but with Cox, and I'm sure a lot of other carriers that are going with coax gigs, it's not DOCSIS 3.1. So the DOCSIS 3.0 is good if you have 300 megs or less. You can go pick this up anywhere. Just make sure that you get the 32 and 8. That's the channels. But if you have gig and you're going coax, remember, guys, I made the mistake. So I went and bought this. Waste of $100 because I needed the DOCSIS 3.1 in order to get the gig. And then this, I believe, was much more expensive than that, $220 or something like that. Now, this one came straight from Cox. That's why the box is different. And then, this one you can have a phone also connected to, and versus this is just for Wi-Fi. But they do sell this, and I'll throw a picture up in there, in 3.1 now, DOCSIS 3.1. So I was excited when this came out, but it turned out I could never get gig out of it. I'm sure it's capable of it, but the providers are limiting it. Sorry, can't talk. They are stopping it from getting there, okay? So remember, DOCSIS 3.1. Next, now you're hooked up. You know what? Let's just pop one of these out of the box so we can kind of look at this together. To make it easy, guys, internet setup is so simple. You plug this in to this by this Ethernet cable. There's a plug on the back. The DOCSIS 3.1, by the way, has 4. It's plugged in. I'm not going to unplug it. You plug this in here, On the back here, you find the yellow port. You plug it in there. You fire it up. You want this to be booted up first, fully. Once all the lights are on solid, you then will turn this product on. Once this product is on, all the lights will light up. Remember, guys, the setup for this actually is not to bend these all the way out. They recommend having these straight up. Now, you know, I talked about the way things look. I think this is really cool, but it's not small, but it's lightning fast, and I like it. So you want to put them all straight up. Putting these forward kind of, you know, directs the signal, but they actually recommend straight up like that. So you're ready to go. Now, on your laptop, on your phone, on your desktop, if you're going to connect by Wi-Fi, each of these come on the bottom. They give you their network name. This is all changeable, but you find the network name, it will pop up in your Wi-Fi list. Once you see it, all you have to do is click on it, put the password in that is also on the bottom of this. Now, guys, what these are is these are stock passwords. You can always reset these to whatever you want. But the nice thing is, if you ever have to manufacture or reset this, it will always go back to these passwords. That way, if you ever get locked out or something, you have an option of getting into it. So it pops up. You then pick it as your Wi-Fi. You put in the password, and it's that simple. It's going to start connection. Once it starts connection, it's going to check for downloads, you know, software updates. It's going to ask you about what kind of setup you have in your home. If you want to do, you know, advanced setup, or if you wanted to, you know, it to pick it for you, just let it pick it for you. If you're advanced, you're not going to be listening to this anyway. Once you get to that point, guys, we'll look at that screen together, and I'm going to show you how to change the password, and then we're going to set this up. So we're going to start by just showing you the exact Netgear software based off of this. Then we're going to get this plugged in and see how easy it is. I'm excited to try it out. Stay with me and let's do this.
Just wanted to get a real quick look. Don't forget you get 4 Ethernet ports back and a USB 3.0. This is the actual router itself. All antennas are in position, and we got it plugged in and powered up. So we got our DOSIS 3.1 modem plugged in and power on. We have the Nighthawk X6 powered on. This, of course, is the range extender. That is the next thing that we're going to power on. We did not get to see the lights up close, but these are going to tell us what's going on as far as if it's powered on, the signal strength, and so forth, right on the unit. Remember, this is going to be connected through the WPS button. The WPS button is right on the back there by the Ethernet. So we're going to need that to connect it. But briefly, I want to kind of show you what settings you should be looking at as far as your router goes. Now, router settings can make a big difference, so remember, don't mess with stuff that you don't understand. Okay, real quickly. So here are some photos of my setup. Pay close attention to the black marks. This is where you're going to be able to either keep or change the name that is displayed for your Wi-Fi. In addition to that, this is where you can keep or change the passwords for your Wi-Fi. Look at all the other settings if you're going to use Netgear and just follow them as listed on the screen. The next is the quality of service mode. So basically what this is it is designed to help if you have 300 megabyte speed or less. It is there to help get better quality video, or if you're a gamer, so that you don't drop or you get priority. Here's the thing, guys. Only use that if you have 300 megabytes or less. If you are on gig speed, you no longer need this service because you have such high speed. But if you don't, this is where you turn it on. You can either define it on your own or you can let Speed Test do it. The only problem with Speed Test on this particular operating system, since it's through Netgear, you do not get to pick where it pings, so you might not get near the speed that you're actually getting in your house on that test. So define it, but never define it for more than you actually get, because that can really cause a lot of problems. The next thing is the next category. You want to make sure, pay close attention to the bottom, make sure everything is checked, make sure that you're getting all the benefits that this router puts out for you, like extra performance for mobile devices as cell phones and such. So exactly what's on the screen is how I have it set up. Now we'll just jump into the extender. All right, guys, so it's setup time. So very simple. First, go to your main unit, in this case, the AC3200, press the WPS button. Then take this and press the WPS button. It takes about 2 minutes, and this light goes from blinking to solid. Once that's done, I found out that the first thing it connects to is the 2.4 channel. And I wanted to show you kind of what it looks like on my network. So again, because this is different and it's not breaking up the signal, it is actually going to show up connected. So here's my 2.4 gigahertz stuff, and we see the EX8000. Of course, to get a better signal, you want it on your 5 gigahertz band. Now, I would want it on my fastest. That way you get the best performance. That's where the manual actually came in handy. So basically, you need to repeat the same steps 2 times. And that's to maximize and make sure that you get the full signal and that you're getting the maximum speed out of it. So basically, you want to just repeat this 2 times, and then eventually you're going to get it into the 5 gigahertz channel. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the steps, and then we'll look at it. Now I press the WPS button again. I just want to show you that it's blinking again, and now we're just waiting for it to reconnect. Now, as you can see, 5 gigahertz, and then the signal strength is still white. It's now connected to 2.4 and 5. So we're going to repeat these steps one more time because we basically want to get the maximum speed out of it. So let's do it one more time. Again, I'm just going to press the WPS button and start again. Okay, so we're finished. Now, this is going to take, gosh, it took about 10 minutes total. So what you want to see is this. This means that you are getting the maximum speed, and it is going to give you the maximum speed that's capable. Now, this did a little more than I thought it would. I think that's very neat how it connects to all 3 bands. So it gives you the 2.4, the 5, and the 5. So again, you're going to have to do it 3 times. You hit the WPS button, you do it, it'll connect to the 2.4, you do it again, it'll connect to one of the 5s, you do it again, it'll connect to the other 5, and then all of a sudden this light turns on, and it says in the instructions, once that is on, you are getting the maximum performance. Couple things to keep in mind. When I signed into the 2.4 on my computer or my tablet computer here, it had me re-sign into my router, and then it did it again the 2nd and the 3rd time. So after you're ready, you hit that WPS button and you see that it is solid here. go to your computer, type in the password, and I think it's doing that so you don't have to do that again. So the next thing that I will do, I'm not going to show you in the video for sake of time, is I am going to, like I said, I'm going to take this up to one of my TV areas. I am going to run an Ethernet cable from the back. And if you guys want to do that, it's that simple, guys. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Plug one into this, and then one in the back of your game console, your TV, whatever it might be. I mean, even the Google Chromecast 4K has an Ethernet plug. When you do that, you are going to get, you know, hardwired connection, and now this is going to be in sense your Wi-Fi card. So if you don't have the best one in that product, it's going to just amplify it. It's going to give you an extremely better streaming experience. In addition to this, guys, remember that you want to take your time, set it up correctly. Start with your modem. You want to make sure that, you know, you unplug it, plug it back in, let it boot completely back up. Make sure also that your Ethernet cable, right, is plugged into your modem and then into your main router, whatever brand you choose. Then once your modem is booted up, power on your router, let that boot completely up, then start setup. What I would do also, once you have completed setup, guys, unplug everything and do that process one more time to refresh. Quick note, if you do decide to hardwire this product in to, you know, save all those extra items, make sure to turn the Wi-Fi off in the devices that you hardwire in. And remember, you're probably going to have to go through a brief setup with your game console or your TV or whatever. And you're going to have to pick Ethernet connection versus Wi-Fi if you decide to do that. Even though you are, in sense, still running on a wireless network, the Ethernet cable is now connected to your TV or your game console, etc. So you have to switch the setting in the item that is connected to the Netgear.
All right, guys. So that about does it. This product, the Nighthawk X6S, is a great product. I'm excited about it. If you're looking for something other than a mesh system that, in my opinion, as of today, just doesn't perform that well and doesn't give you the speed capabilities that you might really want, this is definitely a product that you should look into. If the price is too expensive at $199, remember they do have a wall plug one. I'll throw it up here so you could see it. It doesn't have as many features, but again, it'll get you started in the right direction. If you have the gig speed and you need just something a little more, this is definitely the product. If you guys also, one more thing to bear in mind, if you have like an old PS4 that only has the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi in it and you want something better, remember guys, plugging this in through Ethernet is going to give you some of the best Wi-Fi capabilities for your desktop, your old game consoles, your TVs. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can benefit from one of these. So I'm extremely excited about it. You know, as far as Netgear goes, so far, guys, again, I highly recommend them. This is, as always, my honest opinion. This is not a paid sponsorship video. If you do want just a dual band wireless router that is a little bit less expensive, this product here is a great product. I used it for quite a while. It has great range and great speed, and it is less expensive, and it still has great performance. But guys, that's really it today. But I just want to say, as always, love your family, love your neighbor, take care of each other. Go out today and do something nice for someone. Make someone's day. Don't forget to smile. And remember, life is so short. I am just sickened by another tragedy in that school shooting, and my heart goes out to you guys. The families that were affected, I just could not imagine. And my prayers and my heart is with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for considering hitting that subscribe button. If you have any questions at all, please ask me in the comment section or find me on Facebook at JBTechFanatic. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter. And do not be afraid to ask If I can answer and if I know the answer, I will do whatever I can to help you. That's why I do this. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you like this video. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. You take care of yourself out there. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.